Hello, I would like to talk about the greatest singer in the world. You know, she passed away, but her name is Ella Fitzgerald. I got to know her maybe not early on, when I was the junior high school and high school. I was deep into the American rock and roll music, but sooner or later in high school I started to listen to more or less like adult type of singing. At that time, Paris Network and the American popular music is very, I think, very not so much worldwide not worldwide, all generations popularity, but in a certain group of people loved the jazz, right, to begin with, and the jazz vocal, like a Sinatra and so forth. And I started to listen some of the things that at that time very the jazz comes into top 40 once in a while, like Nancy Wilson. I loved her. She had several hits at that time, and I loved her. But Ella Fitzgerald is like in the background somewhere because she was like an old timer or something. But of course, I have to listen to her after a while, when I was probably maybe 20s, I would say. But the long after I came to the U.S., I got to know her better because I started to buy the LPs, and at the same time I discovered American popular song, which is like what I meant popular song is before rock and roll, right? Before rock and roll. Those music I really love, 1930s, 40s, 50s sometimes. So, I started to listen, and there's this series of LPs by Ella Fitzgerald called American Popular Songs, American Song Series or something, created by arranger Nelson Riddle. And so I started to listen to that, and I was hooked, like a George Gershwin songbook and Cole Porter. First I got into Cole Porter songbook, and then I got into Rogers and Hart, and then Irving Berlin and George Gershwin. All these like four great composers of American music, and I was taken, but all by Ella Fitzgerald's very straightforward singing of the American songbooks. And so I collected all her LPs, and then when CD came, I collected the CDs. And besides that, besides this American songbook series, I also noticed she had like earlier, before like a Verve label, before that I think a Decca label, and I have a couple of Decca LPs by her, and I remember when I was like a student, I think a student, and going to school in the morning, and it is like a drudgery, right? It's early morning, and but only like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of time I could play the LP, and that was like two LPs by Ella Fitzgerald. One is I don't have those two LPs anymore because LPs passed, but one is the one that you leave me breathless, baby, what else can I do? And please be kind, making whoopee. Oh, those things in that album. And I loved her silky young voice, beautiful voice. And then the other one is like a Black Coffee and all kind of George Gershwin songs. And so I like that too. And so, I don't like her very jazzy, like a scat type of thing. I don't like her scat. I think some people like her scat, but I don't. Ella in Berlin has one of them. Some of them are the scat, and I don't care for. But in that album also, I like the very straightforward singing, and so that's how I got to know her talent, and I think I consider her the best in the world. And so female vocalists after that today, for example, many people still become a jazz singer and singing, and they are very good. I mean, they are their own right. They are very very commendable, right? But I lost interest in those people because I loved her so much. And probably contemporary artists like Sarah Vaughan, for example, I liked her too. Very very good singing, and the Frank Sinatra, I loved him very much. I still love him, and so those things that still remain the same. The greatest thing about all is that those singers' voice saved my life. It's like when you are going through tough times or lonely time or whatever, this voice comes in and sing for you, and that particular feeling is so soothing and so comforting and so connecting to the human warmth. And I felt all that from Ella Fitzgerald and the Sarah Vaughan and the Frank Sinatra as well. And so, it saved some people's life. I think people who are depressed, for example, I think they get very much, cleanse that particular depressions, and then, bring all the fire, all the light in your heart, bring those things in your heart. And so that I feel like it's very very important. And too bad those people all passed away, right? So today's singer, once in a while there's a good singer appear there. For example, the Michael Bublé. I loved him, but it's not it's not like Frank Sinatra. And Diane Krall, I think I loved her voice too, but it's not like Ella Fitzgerald. And so why those things comes a very peaked at some point like 1950s, 1940s, 50s, peaked, and they go down. And I don't know. There's another peak coming up with a different music, maybe different type of music. It comes up, but like classical music, 18th century, 19th century, the early 19th, 20th century, probably that's a peak there. But today still making the music, but it's not the same. It's music changes, and one type of music are popular in one era, 10 years, 20 years of a block of time. It was very popular, but then it goes another kind of music goes popular, and it's kind of a shift. So in me, I think I grew up with the rock and roll music and the Beatles and so forth, but I very very soon, early on, I got into this beautiful jazz type of singing of popular American popular music, and I think it remains until I die. I would say that particular fondness. I think that remains there. It never goes away. And if I go to the island, and if I have to take only like one or two albums. Of course, I think Ella Fitzgerald and maybe Frank Sinatra's album. Take that. So this is my few cents, and I think if you haven't listened to Ella Fitzgerald, you should. People have looking at her face or her picture. She's like she's like a little bit plump, right? She's not a skinny, beautiful figure. She's like a little bit, and so they assume that her singing is also, plump, like Aretha Franklin or something like that. But it's not. It's a very soft, very beautiful, soft singing, beautiful voice, and you will be surprised how beautiful that is. So please listen to her voice, and then listen to the, Alvin Berlin, Cole Porter, George Gershwin, Rogers and Hart. Those four. That's essential. But the other people during that time, Johnny Marshall's lyrics are very beautiful too. So you can listen to Henry Mancini's song too. So I would recommend, and so that's my few cents today. The December 2020 Corona still rampaging all over the place. Okay, thank you, bye.